This is John of Darkninja333 back for another episode of the Beginner's Guide. Last time we left off, I think begin the game starts from the beginning, so we want to do chapter. Intro, whisper, backwards, entering, stairs, puzzle, exiting, down, notes, escape, house. Yes, this is where we left off. Let's see what's gonna happen next. Oh, double.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Oh, here we go.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
The door just shut? Oh. Somebody spilled that. You really should clean that up. Well, my goodness, I'm glad as all heck you showed up. Then I went ahead and clean this entire house for myself, and right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands make lousy home. Don't worry about me, nice place this
You'll
night.
notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Why don't we start cleaning it, and then you decide whether you could do it all night. I'll clean up here. In the meantime, could you clear the table? This table? Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. Now would you please run into the bedroom and make the bed? Yes, I can do that. This one? While you're in there, why don't you straighten out the rug a bit? All the little details matter. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? How'd you end up doing this job? It's been a long time how'd you end up doing this job? A friend dragged me along at a time when I was particularly desperate for cash. Turns out I've never felt so good doing something for money in my whole life. Never did I like cleaning my own home. Might have got some demons I ain't ready to face yet. Speaking of demons, someone put this couch all in a mess. Would you straighten out these pillows here? Oh dear, looks like someone spilled a drink out of it. Maybe mop that up as long as you're over there. That's what I was talking about earlier. I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Make it especially cheesy. No. No, stupid, sorry. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Bam! If only dishes could get clean like that. Last I checked, the tub needed cleaning. How about you scrub it down as best you can? No need to be perfect, we're all just human. No, it's... Scrub the tub. Bam! There's still books scattered around the floor of the bedroom, so would you put them back on the shelf? Bam! Perfect. How about you come and clear these dishes off?
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
House cleaning is so difficult. How do you do it? Darling, let me tell you something. Your house is only as difficult to clean as you are. If you're finding the work hard, maybe you have a bit of housekeeping to do before you come to work. Ha! And there you go, another lecture. Of course I would. Don't worry about the nonsense.
I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was, like, grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Looks like the tub's gotten rather dirty. Would you mind tidying up a bit? Earlier when I said it's a really cheesy thought, I was going to say that it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it, and it takes care of you. Don't know why I felt so weird while saying that. But there's a bit of truth in it now. Anyway, so housekeeping. I come in anyway. Let's keep doing this. Books. Clean up books. Thanks. Oh goodness, those pillows on the couch are a real mess.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
Question.
But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
But he had a question. What was the question? I noticed there's a slight bit of lag. I can't tell if it's because I wonder if these... Well, I guess it's not as choppy as it was before. It should be fine. It looks fine. Not super laggy like before. Why can't you... Such a nice house, though. Was there an upstairs? No. Oh, hey, it's the lamppost.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it. This one gets a bit goofy.
Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No? You came here to become perfect. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your own life? Who do you know who is so well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself, compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful? I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. And the question is not how do we do it, but how do we do it effortlessly. This is easy. It is so easy.
About halfway through the
easy.
game, the
Being
perspective
perfect
shifts.
is effortless. Who summoned Sauron?
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Oh, cool. This is the key. How do I achieve it with no effort? On the way to work, I told an elderly person to start contributing. Kids should not follow. Well, let me tell you right now, if it isn't effortless, then it's not the right answer. I still love you, it's just that you make me feel cold on the inside. Being alone must be awful. I don't know. First one seems like it would be the thing. Thank goodness all of you perceive me as being wise and tell drinking is not hurting my life. If you are torturing yourself trying to find the right solution for your life, you're not doing it right. Do you understand that you won't be happy until you love me? This is for you. Seek out only one thing. What is the easiest, simple path forward? Ew, I'm developing a cyst. Gross. What? There is no true. Ha ha ha, just kidding. Anyone else do some ecstasy after this? What? I don't want to just. What? There is no truth, there is no path. What if I'm not a good teacher? Do what is easiest, do what is simplest, feel what is true. Holy shit, you guys, something is coming out of the back of the room. Look out. Nothing, no one. It's coming for you, it's going to destroy you. Everyone run, run. I guess it wants me to choose.
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human.
Wow, that's...
I think about this game a lot these days.
That's true. Flaws and overlook theirs.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
What? Oh, it's like a music stage thing, or a theater. Is it a ladder? Oh, I don't know how to climb ladders. I probably can't. Yeah, I can't. Okay. Theater. With nobody. Oh my god. That actually scared me. Wait, am I in the movie or am I... First you start off leaning against this wall. Whoa. Okay. The woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello, sorry I have to leave. Where's the bathroom? Hello. Hello, that's it? That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. I'm like super scared right now. I love you. Here are all my hopes and dreams. I don't fucking know. I like you. No, that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Talk to her again. What do you mean they bounce? Wait, I'm gonna wait before I say something. Oh my god. Yes! This is awesome! Oh my gosh. I want to try to ricochet off. I get knocked off the stage. Okay, back to the concept name. Okay, you must have worked really hard to get where you are. I'll bet you've learned to lean into the pain. What are some sacrifices you've had to make? You're messing it all up. What are you talking about? You'll freak her out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. Did it say stepping back from the stage or stepping back into the stage? What? Wait, what? Oh, okay, yes, this...
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Wow. Mobius trip. To play this game properly, you need to keep your eyes closed. Wait, what? To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Oh, great. Guess I'm gonna actually do this. I literally have no idea what's going on. I really should open my eyes because this isn't getting me anywhere at all. I'll give another couple seconds. I just opened my eyes. Okay, I don't
You should
care.
probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise.
Oh, okay.
And there is a solution, by the way.
What's going on? There's a giant door in my vision went black. I can't see anything. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, let's try this a third time. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, that did nothing. The only way to stop is to speak something that is honest. I can't keep making these.
Like I
It's
said, I
draining
was
me.
getting concerned.
First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So, where's that coming from? But then, even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing.
Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
Yeah, that just got really dark. Like, depressingly dark.
His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Damn. Do the do. Hello? Whoa. Hello, is anyone there? Every time I speak, it continues on a little bit. This is cool, though. Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. I'm completely out of ideas. When I try to create, I feel empty. I have nothing left to give my work. Oh no. What happened? Did something change? It was a machine that kept me going and it stopped. I'm trying to figure out this engine that used to protect me to start it again. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. What? I need to see it to know why it stopped. I'm pretty sure I just got stuck in the very edge of the wall. Well, I'm pretty certain I'm stuck. Can't crouch, can't jump. Okay, we're going to restart this level. Hello. Hello, is anyone there? Oh, is it a person? How lovely. Maybe if you're lucky, we can glitch you into the wall to never return. You look lost. Oh, what happened? Did something change? Trying to find this. Come on, don't get stuck. Okay. There we go. I need to see why it stopped. I can take you to it, but
If the
there's a
last
problem.
game
It's guarded by a
featured
difficult
Coda
puzzle.
talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
Perfect. Come along, I'll show it to you.
Because, from my perspective at the time, and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
I noticed some of the options change. Now you have to close the first door. Alright, what's next? Now just press the switch here. I want to know what those said. Ah, that was
You
so
can't
simple.
talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
There's crying. You have to say your work is fun and easy. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous and that you love it 100% of the time. Why did I feel so awful when I said that? Don't worry about it, just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. When I make games, I feel completely energized. I'm constantly excited and enthusiastic. It is easy, it never stops being easy.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
Every time I make something, I feel better about myself. Just never stop creating and you'll never feel bad. It's such a simple solution.
This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Patience. That crying, though, is uneasy. Pain breezes effortlessly off me. Any sacrifices made for my work are hard worth it. It always pays off eventually.
I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
Wait. Him? Wait, I thought it was Coda. Unless he is Coda. I'm free. Wait, what?
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Guard. Ma'am, glad to see you arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You come in the interrogation. You're like, I intend to be quick. Very good. Just be warned, someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing you should know about this machine, it calls itself Coda. How did you capture the machine? Will it be punished? Jesus Christ. Ugh, anxiety. Too many people. Too many TV head people.
And of course, it's the machine.
What's the machine? You stopped? You You stopped feeding us. Your work was keeping us alive. Your work was keeping us healthy. Those people out there, can you imagine what pain you've put them through? It was only because your creation that any of us could make it through every day. How could we possibly go back to trusting you after this job? Trusting you to do this job. So here's what needs to happen. You need to go to the people who are out there and apologize to them. You need to admit to the people that you allowed them to suffer. I've been so alone. No, nothing. Think carefully. I know how to hurt you. I have seen the thing you fear. Alright then, I will speak to them for you. My followers, my friends. It falls on me to deliver bad news. I have a troubling revelation. The machine will not apologize to us, refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. But this is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. We will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us pay it retribution. Let us show it that we are not failures. Follow me, we will destroy the machine. Follow me, we will destroy everything that the machine has created. I don't understand what's going on. What the fuck? Wait. We're back here? Whoa! It just gave me a gun. Okay. Fuck this. Yeah. Coda, I'll make sure your work dies here. I'll make sure you are known forever.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive.
Isn't that what you're scared of?
At the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Oh hey, this is that room. Oh my god, I fell through the floor.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all is just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Oh, I missed the switch. Put down your weapon.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do?
Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
If that's true.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
This room actually has a maze in it. Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the level, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Okay, yeah, because I can't... I won't be able to fucking figure that out. That's too much. It's one thing to have an invisible wall maze, but it's a worse thing to have it reset you every time you touch a wall.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
It's impossible. I mean, really, up to an extent, that really is impossible. Wait, a code. Oh, shit.
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code.
It was from the earlier...
Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time.
Oh, it was...
If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it was in the note room, it was all of those, the numbers, like tower, whatever, I don't know why I just did that. Maybe that's supposed to be like a way of saying to pay attention. I'm grasping at straws, I know.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
I thought this was going to be that
Was I a
one
failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't.
I know the 3 dots were also in the Stanley Parable. I recognize those. Wait, but that... If this is the creator of the Stanley Parable, then those 3 circles, maybe he incorporated them in his games? Unless I was right, and Coda is really the narrator.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed.
Oh, I think I understand. What if it's the like Coda was his like imagination, his like creativity, his personality, and that's why it was the machine. The machine was Coda, his creativity stopped working, and he found it impossible to make games again. Dear Davey, thank you for your interest in my games. I need to ask.
I'm the reason that
you
you
not to
stopped
speak to
making
me
games, aren't I?
anymore.
It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
Maybe not. Holy shit.
I don't think I ever told you this,
Whether you think I
but
am
when I took
making
your
these
work
games
and
for
I
you.
was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
You've so infected
And
my personal
the people
space
who
that it's
played
possible
them,
I did begin to
They
plant
treated me
solutions in
like
my work
I was
somewhere,
important.
hidden between games.
They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, it was... I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe. Would you stop changing my games, stop adding lampposts to them? What? Would you
And
simply
then you stopped.
let them
And I
be
didn't
what
have
they
anything
are?
left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all.
When I'm around you, I
Nothing.
feel physically
Less
ill.
than nothing.
You desperately
that
need
mean?
something, and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with these new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just a part of the process. The fact that you think I am frustrated or broken says more about you than about me. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine, you're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks and that you make peace with this thing you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
And when you finally see what I'm talking about, don't say anything. Wait, what?
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Okay. I really don't have much to say about that.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
Oh, there's the door.
Solution.
What the fuck? Magic.
I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
Well, this is different. Am I in like a crawl space?
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for. And so I'm just gonna... Okay.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say I can't get up there. Oh, really long haul. Nice and quiet. A little too quiet. Oh, it's the thing that kills you, or you fly into the sky. Yes, fly into the sky. Holy mother of maze. Well, there's no way in hell I'm navigating this maze.
Turn back, turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave, let me keep going. But the cave goes for miles and miles and miles, and you're so tired, but I know that you're strong.
Well,
So turn back,
I don't even know. I don't understand.
turn back.
Like, I don't know if there's any secrets or whatnot, or if that's it. Is that literally it? Is that literally it? That's it. I've that's literally looks like it's it. Was this game literally made to find his friend? I literally a guy.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011.
I don't get this.
We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made.
It's a level for Counter-Strike.
You can walk around here, by the way.
Yeah,
And
so
mostly it's just Coda
that looks like it's it.
the basics of the environment.
I mean,
What I like is that even though
okay. I definitely must have missed something. I mean, at first I thought it was like he was, because he did talk of like he was Coda himself. But then, at the same time, you know, it's like, at the very end, it sounded like he fucked up and ruined his friendship with his friend. I don't know. I'm confused. That was a little too much for me. But it was still pretty good for what it was worth. I mean, it wasn't what I expected it to be, but I can't say I'm disappointed. It was nice. So, but that's another game complete, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time for the next playthrough, peace off.